So with that in mind, Brainstorming Kruleboyz lists. I gotta shout out Mark Fia here. Let's see. Look at all the stuff that he gave me. It's probably easier to do this. Bam. All of these just photos on just black and white of all these Kruleboyz and everything, really. Phenomenal. Cool. But first, of course, thanks to all my sponsors. You guys, my sponsors, my patrons. Yep. Here's an interesting thing, too. Don't forget, patrons, you guys all got to hit me up when 4th comes out, right? I'd be super interested in list building with you guys, deploying in TTS, talking about tactics. I love getting other people's inputs, too, right? It's like I always learn new things from other people. It's one of the reasons why I started this channel in the first place. Well, hot dog. Cool. So what are we looking at? We're looking at Kruleboyz lists here. Oh, okay. So you're definitely going to take at least 1 unit of Gut Rippers, right? There's no way that you don't take a unit of reinforced Gut Rippers. I think that's a given. Okay, so, and this is tough for me to really think about and decide because I haven't really seen everything yet. Like for Iron Jaws, I think I've seen enough of Iron Jaws that I kind of get it, but I kind of know what everything does in Kruleboyz. I'm still, I need more information on the kill boss. I think Hobgrots, they serve the same purpose. I don't think the kill boss is very good. I haven't seen Beast Killers yet either. I wonder what that's going to look like. It'll probably be good. But yeah, we're definitely going with at least 1 reinforced brick of Gut Rippers. The only question is really, is it going to be 2? They're crazy for damage output. They're a little bit inconsistent because of venom encrusted weapons, right? But they are going to play just a crazy psychological warfare on your opponent. Just think about this. If Kruleboyz are going second, okay, your opponent is going to move and charge and whatever, knowing that they could just strike last, right? And then on the next turn, you're just going to smoke them with venom encrusted weapons and another strike last. Although it's your turn, so... But still, strike last just means that you can fight somewhere else, right? It means that the Sludge Raker or the Break a Boss or the Gnash Tooth or the other brick of 20 Gut Rippers, right? It's I don't know. It seems pretty scary just from, just psychologically from an opponent's perspective. It's either going to be something like this. Oh, shoot. Right? Or it's going to be something like this instead, without maybe 1 unit of Hobgrots. But maybe not though either, right? We'll see. But it's going to be some combination of infantry. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. 2 bricks of Gut Rippers to me seems really scary. It's probably the call. I think we're going to see... I don't know, the infantry just looks so good. Right? The infantry just looks solid. Right? And if you take, again, I need to... Oh, they can't take enhancements. So it means that your Sludge Raker can be the general. And if the Sludge Raker is the general, then it gives us... this one probably. Subtract 1 from the attack characteristic of units within the general's combat range if the honor guard did not charge and is wholly within 6. So -1 to the attack characteristic is strong, right? That's a really strong debuff. If it's some infantry line that has 2 attacks, you just cut their damage in half, right? Like think about what that does to Gut Rippers. It just turns Gut Rippers into mush. Like suddenly they hit for half the damage. Like it's like, oh, like I got 20 mortals. It's like, no, you don't. You have 12. It's like that's a big difference, right? Like cutting them down. And Gut Rippers want to be wholly within 12 of a Sludge Raker anyway, right? So it's like to have this like -1 to hit aura or whatever as you move out and take space, and you're just like, come at me, bro. Like I'm gonna strike last you, right? And then I'm gonna like do tricky orky things, and like you're teleporting your Bolt Boys around the map, and they're shooting and counter shooting in your opponent's turn and stuff, and right, that they're the ones that you're doing. But I think that you probably want to go with is it like, I wonder, I don't know enough yet, but like if you like, it all depends on points. So for now it's almost thinking about like possibility, right? I'm interested in using Kragnos as a big distraction that focuses your opponent's attention because the rest of the army seems decent at taking objectives. I mean, it depends on points. Like what do you think Kragnos is going to be for points? I think he's going to be like, I don't know, is he going to be the same as he was? The problem with Kragnos too is that like there's some synergies, but there's also some counter synergies as well. Like how good is 3d6 charge when you already have run in charge? I think he's going to be about the same. Lost his 2-up. Yeah, but he got a 5-up ward though, so I feel like it was a good trade. Before he just melted to mortal wounds. Like he wasn't good. He just like died against some armies, and then he's a huge target, right? And it's like Kruleboyz, for example, just would slay Kragnos. I remember playing a Bone Splitter player and just killing Kragnos in 1 turn. It was just 12 Bolt Boys. Pew! Right, +1 damage, roll some good 5-ups, 6-ups. But another distraction, like the Vulture. Right? Like running like Gobsprak and a Vulture boss. I've always wanted to do that. And it's like, they're the distraction. Right? They're just these flankers. God, I hope that's viable. That would, like, I've always wanted to do that. That'd be so fun. Well, so the thing is that, so if, I mean, there's so many combos here. What if you did like, okay, let's make some lists. So what if you did like 2 Sludge, 1 a Snatch of Boss, and 1 Scumdrak. Okay. And then you did a reinforced unit of Hobgrots because they get crit mortals. And so they can get venom encrusted weapons when they're within his aura or whatever. 20 Gut Rippers reinforced, Monster Killers. 2 times Hobgrots, 1 times Killbow, Gobsprak and Sludge. 6 Bolt Boys. Yeah. I'm just trying to think about like if we were gonna make some different styles, like what they would look like points wise right now in 3rd. 2 times 6 Bolt Boys is probably still the default. Like they're still gonna be good. They just got to be pointed correctly and be like cheap enough. But I think 2 times 6 is still the way to go. Okay, so if we wanted to do a double Sludge Raker list, this is what it would look like to begin with. And this probably, so this is 2 drops and probably unlocks everything. Right, I'd say this is like your starting point. Let me see what we're at here in points. Are any other heroes necessary? Like, I don't know how good our lore is in Kruleboyz. Like, how good is our lore really? This isn't gonna tell me. I think everybody wants to be low drop. Like, Choking Mist is still good. It's -1 attacks. No, it's actually really good. We have Mystic Shield, dude. We have Mystic Shield. And then, I can't remember what the Black Pit was. But we also have Manifestations. I don't think you, like, I don't think you can be no wizard. Like, I 100% agree. I think that Manifestations are going to be a really powerful tool. Right? So I don't think that you can call this list, Jeez, I'm having the hardest time with this app here. Oh, made me sad. Oh, shoot. I accidentally selected Big Wah in the app just because that's what I'm used to doing. And it made me a little sad. But I think it's good overall. I'm happy with the changes. Okay, so what do we say here? So I think, so this is a 2 Sludge Raker list. And then how many Shamans is minimum? Gross 2. So this right here is 1,700 points in the new rules. Okay, I think that Kruleboyz are going to be quite a bit cheaper, so I feel like it's... So I feel like it's fair. Well, I think that... so it's 1... It's going to be 3 drops, I think, minimum, right? Because 4, 5, 6, 7... And if you have 8... If you have 8 units, you can't be 2 drops. So we have 8, right? Because it's 4 and then 3. So if we have 8, so we could only be 2. Maybe Scumdrek will unlock the heroes, right? And so you could take, like, the 2 heroes and 1 unit, and then the other one takes whatever. Well, it's 3 drops, right? But you could, if you want, you'd have to get rid of one of the heroes. You'd have to get rid of a unit to make it 2 drop, and that's not viable in this list, I don't think. Because you can't drop... Yeah, so this thing always does mortals. Right? This block here. And I feel like it's strong. I feel like giving the Hoggrots the mortal thing is actually good. Because if they get crit mortals, like this is, if they deal the same mortal wounds as Godrip, right? If they get venom encrusted weapons, they're just the same number of dice. Like, I'm right? Or no, because this Sludge Raker doesn't give +1 to the damage. Right? This Sludge Raker doesn't do that. This Sludge Raker is the only one that gives + to the damage. I think this one's ability is it gives these guys the crit mortals. It's not both. But still, like... I have to look closer at Sludge Raker and stuff, but if you wanted to do a 2 Sludge Raker list, I feel like this is where you'd start. What do you guys think? This is 1,700 points. So, maybe some wiggle room there. Does Killbow have infantry? Probably doesn't. Okay, well, I don't know. I feel like that's probably pretty good. What if you wanted to do... Is a 2 Vultulist the same list? No, because they're cheaper. So, this exact list, but with these 2. Actually, weren't done with this. The double Sludge Raker list. Sorry, let's think about double Sludge Raker. So you're making good use of the honor guard, right? You're really just like, okay, like I'm a little castle, come at me, and then you have like these two just like shredder chunks, right? But what you don't have is any kind of mobility. Well, I mean, except for the teleports everywhere. Can't teleport more than 10 infantry. Is that actually a thing that I'm forgetting? I have it up here. Super sneaky, 10 or fewer models. Yep. Yeah, no, that's actually a very, very, very good point. That's a really, really good point. You're definitely a 3-drop now. I think these guys stay in one... these guys could actually probably split up too. Because these guys are infantry, right? So like you can super sneaky these guys. And there's not really a lot of value lost here, except for you can super sneaky stuff around. I don't know how good Marsh Crawl is going to be. This list is not mobile. It's 2 bricks, and then you're teleporting things away, but as you teleport things away, you also lose stuff. You can sneak out of combat, hey? No, not in combat. No, you can't. So you can sort of like sneak things to like jump on people's flanks. You could like throw 10 of these or 10 of these or 6 of these, right? And so whatever like is looking sort of weakest, right? You sort of chuck it at them, and you can throw things to grab objectives. These guys would not be ideal for that. These things being teleported to be within terrain, I think, is really strong, right? There's 6 of them, which means there's more than 5 of them. So it means you can try to deny, take their land from your opponent. Like you can just sort of default, be like, well, I teleport the Bolt Boys. They take some shots. They're either going to be close or far, whatever. But the terrain I'm picking is the stuff my opponent's going to want to grab. I'm going to make that hard for them to do. Another good teleport is into the middle of the table to deny, take their land. Yeah, I guess there's no... Mystic Shield, I suppose, is the buff. Right? And then Choking Mist, probably. What was the other one? It was like a damage one, right? They're only one... No, they're 2 casts. No, they're +1 to cast. They're +1 to cast. So they're going to be better counter magic. And it's non-hero for sneak. Infantry unit. Oh, it can be a hero, right? Pick a friendly Kruleboyz infantry unit that has 10 or fewer models and is not in combat. Yeah, yeah, you can teleport Shaman. He's got infantry, I'm sure. And then the honor guard is still fine. Battle formation. Companion weapons have crit 2 hits. That's probably not the one. It would only give it to the sludge. This is probably the one, I think, in a 2 sludge raker list. In like this kind of list. I don't think the extra range on the Bolt Boys is like really strong. Like, it's probably fine. It's going to make that shortest range 15, which is, like, a pretty good buff. That's, like, why it's, like, suddenly that, you know, their damage sort of goes up and they're safe, kind of, you know? Sneaky Sneaking twice is strong, though, too. The only real downside to it is that you can fail. Or, sorry, like, it adds to your score. So if you're going second, your Venom Encrusted Weapons is going to be 1 higher. But you're just like, okay, I'm teleporting everywhere. Like, this one seems really strong with more Bull Boys. To be like, okay, well, my archers are just going to go ballistic, and I don't care about Venom Encrusted Weapons. Right? I got 4 times 6 Bolt Boys. 3 boys cost 70 points. Keep dreaming, buddy. But, like, I could see that. I could see a list like that. Right? Lots of Bolt Boys. And, like, do you take... Okay. I need to stay on track here. Is Egomaniac good? It's just, you shrug, you pass off wounds, right? This one's Slippery Scumbag might actually be good. Well, we're thinking about a two Sludge Raker list. Turns out Hasty Shot is the 2-rend shot, so it's like it was before. Hasty Shot's just like strictly way better. Is that right, what you're saying, Leonard? Scumbag for a Vulture, for sure. Yeah, Scumbag is the way to go, for sure, for a 2 Sludge Raker list. This is probably the one, too, Morksai Pebble. The staff is strong, though, too. But it's not 5-inch, it's 3-inch. I just read it. How much does the damage drop off on Hogrots and Garpus if you no longer reinforce them? It's not about that. It's about Venom Encrusted Weapons, right? Maybe there's a second way to extend the range, I'm not sure. Well, I mean, like, you're right. Like, the thing... Right. So here's the problem, okay, that we're facing in Kruleboyz right now, or at least that I'm thinking. Here's the central problem. So you can't sneaky a reinforced unit. Right, you can only sneaky a unit that's together. So, like, a double sludge list, I think the way that you actually want to do it is both units are reinforced, right? And then when you do things like cast Mystic Shield on them or other whatever, right? It's like, but then all your sneaking is your Bolt Boys. There's no way to put, like, other feet, and then I wonder to myself, like, is that worth it? Like, is that a thing that's good and worth doing? And then I'm like, well, I don't know. So, like, I don't think you can play a double sludge list. You also need to play a Vulture. Do you? Yes. I think you have to have a Vulture. I'm just thinking about tactics. I think it's going to be hard to like surround and destroy, take the center. It's going to be like taking their terrain, like killing a unit in their regiment, whatever, like, and like the destruction one where it's like have a third unit jump in and fight. Right? Like there's lots of tactics that sort of need that need mobility, and we get some with sneak, but like I think it's a mandatory one. Either Gob or the kill boss. You want mobility or do you want casting? I think casting is probably the way to go. I think Gob's still gonna be sick. I don't think you can do 2. I don't think you can fit in the like 2 might be excessive. Like I'm not like just for points. Like how important is a Sludge Raker? A Sludge Raker with a reinforced unit of Gut Rippers as an honor guard is a scary contention. And I don't know which one is better. I don't know if a reinforced Hobgrot one is better with Scumdrek, or if the Snatcher Boss is better. Like, what if you did like let's get some real brainstorming going on here. What if you didn't have a Snatcher Boss? Scumdrek is the general. The Hobgrots are the honor guard, right? And then, and also in the general's regiment is probably 2 units of Bull Boys, right? Because they're gonna want to kill them, and so if we can just like keep them sneaking around the battlefield and out of range of them, right? We'll like deny them their ability to kill the honor guard. And then these Gut Rippers are either... They're probably 2 units. How important is it that these guys are together? You can't sneak them. Just for Mystic Shield? Well, I'm gonna look at points now. I think Hobgrots or Bolt Boys are gonna go down in points. This is 1640. They're certainly a hammer. Yep. So this, I think, like using... The other option is that instead of this being a Scumdrek, this is a Swamp Boss, and these guys get broken up, and the Swamp Boss moves over to here. And this is what the list looks like instead. Right? I feel like this one is more like you're teleporting Hobgrots all over the battlefield. We're out of points for a Shaman. You'd have to cut a unit of Hobgrots. I kind of really like Gob. I kind of like him for, I think people are going to be doing like lots of casters. I think we're going to see lots of casters again, and people are going to be wanting to do their manifestations. And Gobsprak is just in people's heads, and is just another annoying trick. And he takes objectives, or sorry, he doesn't take objectives. He He scores battle tactics well. He goes up the flank. He seizes the center. He takes what's theirs. And he's also pretty good at denying your opponent's tactics too. But Gobsprack has to be the general if he's in the list, so you can't do the honor guard with the Sludge Raker, right? Because they both, or because only Gobsprack has War Master, and it's all about the general, and it only affects the general, right? Well, but can you, like, am I wrong? If you have War Master, it means that you have to be the general, and the honor guard is something in the general's regiment. So if you take Gobsprack, then he has to be the general. So what that means is, you don't take Bodyguard at all anymore. No, it's different now. Mr. Giants. Glance or Giants? Anyway, but yeah, it's different now. It's an L. Glance. Nice. Mr. Glance. Probably a lot of stuff. He might unlock Shamans. Right? I could see him unlocking Shamans. But you don't take... But how good is Bodyguard? Briefly, it's just I want to hit rolls and wound rolls. Whatever, so this just becomes a unit of Gut Rippers. Or is this on Bullboys? I don't think you take it on Gobsprack. Because the unit has to be wholly within 6. Yeah, not body. I don't think you take Bodyguard. The honor guard has to be wholly within 6. Right? So it's like you can't, because Gobsprack's fast and nothing's gonna, like, the whole point is that he's quick. Priority target seems good on some Bolt Boys. Right? It's like there's gonna be up to 4 units that they just get +1 to hit, +1 to wound. That's why you put Bodyguard on the Vulture Boss. He's fast, retreats in combat to reposition the bubble. Do you have his War Scroll handy? So you're saying, like, the Vulture Boss goes in, pecks something, and then it has a monstrous action, thank you, where it just dips and goes and tucks right beside Gobby again? Oh, right, it's Slippery Scumbag. It's on a 3-up. No. That doesn't feel good. I'd rather give him +1/+1 to hit, or whatever. It's gonna fail, and when it, like, it's just gonna fail. And then it's like, then it just feels bad. Like, +1 to hit and wound on a Vulture Boss, I think, would be better. Because it also counts against the enemy's general. So, like, that seems good. And then Slippery Scumbag's probably still the way to go, though. Like, it's still really strong. Right, so you charge, and then on a 3-up, you move and then pile in. Is that how you're thinking it? They're going to be so much tankier now. I'm just very tempted by something being able to reduce the attacks. No, I know, it's good. But I think, like, you're not wrong, it is strong, but it's a Sludge Raker thing. So it's like, if you want it, like, is Gobsprak worth it? Like, is he worth that? The difference between Egomaniac... Sorry. It's Bodyguard. Right? Like, it's strong. Like a brick of Gut Rippers and a... Can't be a Scumdrek, though. So DBF thinks they fight. One Sludge, one Vulture, Gobsprak. I love Scumdrek. I think he's great. I think what he does is he says suddenly these really cheap Hobgrots can pump out as much damage as Gut Rippers. They can do as much damage as Gut Rippers, not with the Sludge Raker buff, right? So it's what you're saying is like, okay, over here I have a 20 block. Like, if I was gonna a Sludge Raker list is Scumdrek with reinforced dudes. Do they have to be reinforced? Yes. And then just a regular one. Snatch Boss over here. And then a Vulture Boss. And then in this one, you take Egomaniac. Well, he gives Hobgrots, he gives his Counting Crew or whatever, crit mortals. That's what he does. And he doesn't do the other thing, I think, but you can give him a reread for sure. So it's like... Yeah, exactly. But what he does do is he makes, like, correct, he can't power up the Gut Rippers. So the list is like a Snatch Boss and Gut Rippers and Scumdrek. And then Scumdrek's the general, right? Because he's named. I think if he's War Master, whatever. But then he also, so he makes the Hobgrots his unit. Right? And then over here, this is a brick. Yeah, okay, so Scumdrek, if Scumdrek isn't or whatever, then it doesn't matter. You can go either way. But still, I think you just go with the Scumdrek one. And then it's like, okay, so like these guys hit harder, but these guys also hit really hard. And it's just cheaper in points. Right? And then you're teleporting the Bull Boys and you're running around the Vulture Boss. Something like this. But there's no wizards. Right? Because if you put Gobby in here, then Egomaniac doesn't work. Does it care? No, because you can't run away from these things. Like, this isn't like an attacking army. This is a receiving army. Like, you're just gonna march everything up the board and be like, come get me. Well, you just want to mess with people. Like, you just want to march forward and be like, you're going to strike last. Redeploy countercharge. Yeah, you want it to do, like, some sneaky things, right? But you got to be wholly within 12 of these monsters. Right? So it's like you have, like, your Bull Boys and your Vulture that's going to fly around, but it's like, this is just a castle. Right? And you're just going to march up the field. It's not really mobile. It doesn't do a good job of tactics, I think. Maybe you don't take Gob. How about something like this? If no, yeah, split the rippers. I was just thinking the same thing. So this one, this list is way more mobile because these are targets now, right? You can teleport these guys, and you can give them venom encrusted weapons, and they can get in there and fight. There's no room for a crawler. This is 1,700 points. How important are casters? Everyone has a manifestation lore. People are going to run a lot of casters. It seems bad to me to have like 7 options with a +1 caster, exactly, and like not casting things. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it would be really strong to open the game with 3 manifestations. Well, I think that the Swamp Kala is actually a really good shaman. A +1 shaman is a really good shaman. What Yeah, you don't want run in charge, I think. I don't know how much I value the Marsh Crawler, to be honest. I think people are going to be casting spells. I think if you don't get rid of your opponent's manifestations, I think it's going to be difficult. Is there a rule that like it's 1 per caster? It's not, right? Like you can just, one wizard could cast 1 and then another and then a third. No, I mean, like, there's no rules about, like, how many... Because in 3rd edition, there were rules about, like, you could only have 1... You'll just counter everyone's lore. Ah, +1 to cast. Is Krondspine on an 8? I can't remember. Is it on an 8? Oh... Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good. That's really good. He really is. Just, no, like, make space so that you can, like, use your sneaky stuff, right, right, like, so you have room to move around, and you can, like, he can help deny tactics, too. So, like, he ties you down in combat, right? Like, you have to retreat from him. Right, so like he can like, and he's fast, he has a 3d6 against other manifestations, right? And he moves in the movement phase, so like you put him into play and then he gets to move, right? Do you have his war? I'm sorry. Does anybody have a link to the official manifestation lore thing? Can't move the turn he's set up, so but can he charge? Thank you. And so he can 3d6 charge against other manifestations. Because that's... I need to see him again. And then I need to put him down. Do you have a link? Like, do you have a link to the war scroll? It's been up, right? I mean, I guess I could just fucking Google it myself. It's your video? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Gonna be dealing more. Right. It's my video. Okay. Stats hammer. Okay, one model. 6 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 3 damage. Oh, that's kind of gross. Okay, so, like, you know, he's in that, like, nice 5 damage. Like, that'll do. Right? Oh, I did all this already. Other stats. I did this already. I have it right here. Here, I'm doing it again. Yeah, and then against manifestations. Right, I did all this math. So all the green ones, he can probably just one-shot. Life Swarm, Cogs, Sword, Pendulum. Right, he'll just eat those in one turn. And then, like, be annoying and be in the way. He'll get rid of Shackles, not that we care. He'll get rid of Maelstrom. He'll drag a bunch... Yeah, he'll drag things into combat. He'll just beat bad, like, players that don't know how to deal with it. Right? He'll just kill people. And people will kill him, and then you'll just cast it again. The only thing is you need to make sure that you have what other spells you're going to cast. This isn't what I want. Oh, hold on. That's what this is. Okay, so Choking Mist is a good spell. Mystic Shield is a good spell. So I think we want to be casting both of these probably every single turn. So now we want to be 3 casts. Right? To Black Pit, the spell's range of 18. Roll the number of dice equal to the models in the unit and inflict 1 roll damage for each 6. So this is like a hand. This is like super toolboxy. You like casting your own lore though? You don't really. Also, I didn't pick up this at first, but manifestations are not bound to the wizard like the spells used to be. So wizard could cast 2 manifestations in 1 turn. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for Iron Jaws. Where it's like, if you can stand next to a place of power, you can just unleash 3 endless spells at your opponent. With 1 wizard. I think it's going to be a big wizard meta, dude. I think it's going to be a big wizard meta. I think that Krondspine is actually going to be good. People are going to just be like, oh my god, like, our places of power, like, oh, free manifestations, like, everyone just got new spells, and everyone has like 6 or 7 spells they can cast, and any wizard can cast any of them. People are just they're gonna be drooling all over it. But I think there's a lot of have-nots for Magic, sure, but I think and then maybe those people just get drowned by endless spells. Right? Like maybe they just kind of lose. Like maybe Kruleboyz plays that game too. Like maybe we're a magical dominance magical dominance army. Gobsprak loses Egomaniac. Sorry, Gobsprak loses Bodyguard. Scumdrek and Hobgrot get Bodyguard. This plus Strike Last feels scary. See ya. 2x6 Bolt Boys. 3 +1 to cast. Gobsprak isn't +1 to cast. Right? So this is your center. This is your, like, seize the center brick. Right? With a shaman who's casting Choking Mist. These dudes are in the wind. These dudes are on the flank. Slippery Scumbag. Egomaniac. Nope. Bodyguard. Slippery Scumbag. Sorry, let me just finish my thought here and then I'll get back to the Mork's Eye Pebble? You gave Hobgrotz a 5-up ward. Does Mork's Eye Pebble have a range? I assume it has a range. Hey Moss, just found you on YouTube today and saw you were live. Just want to thank you for being the only real source of Iron Just content I could find for 4. Wah! Yep, that's me, bro. Yep. Moss Boss. Mega Boss Moss. But hey, thanks for showing up. I'm just racking my brain over Kruleboyz list building. This is what we got so far. It's looking decent. Oh, right, because you're here for Iron Jaws. Ha ha ha. You don't care about the boys. Although I do recommend collecting Kruleboyz. They're going to be super fun. Probably take the Swamp Staff. This is good though, but I don't think it's good if you're gonna take Gut Rippers or a Hobgrotz. You lose value because only 1 wound. Okay, +1 power level, a +1 to cast. Mystic Shield, Choking Mist, Krondspine, and if not Krondspine, then nothing. Ugh. Fair. Kruleboyz is going to be a very thinky, difficult army. Hey, do you want me to, or did you check out my video on the Ironjaw stuff that I was thinking already? That was the one I guess I made it today, I guess. Heard about the Alpha Pig rush. Yeah. Kragnos might be a thing if you just want to actually throw. The real question if you're going all I gotta finish this thought before I gotta end this video I'm trying to make. So the only problem with taking this one artifact is that I feel like now we're on forecasts and I don't know what we're casting if we're taking Krondspine, and I think we're taking Krondspine. So the extra shaman doesn't really help. Because there's only 3 spells that we're casting: Mystic Shield, Choking Mist, and Krondspine. And then even then, it's like we have no 3rd spell if Krondspine doesn't die. Right? If Kronspine's still alive, then like what? We're not casting anything. Primal Energy, what's that? We can cast the Black Pit, but it'll be like a weak. It'll be a weak cast. What's Primal Energy? I don't know what that is. Oh, is that one of the manifestation lures? Is that the Burning Head, Gnashing Jaws, Life Swarm? Yeah, that one's good, but I think Kronspine's gonna be better. Did you miss JFK when we were talking about Krondspine? Because like I think everyone's gonna have a hard-on for manifestations, and everyone's gonna be playing lots of wizards and lots of casts. And the fact that shamans are +1 to cast, I think just means that like we're gonna be magical dominant. We're gonna have 3 unbinds, and if we take a wizard, have 1 more power level, we'll have 4 unbinds, and we're gonna have a thing that eats manifestations. So we were going to cast them, and then Kronspine's just going to be running around, killing things, eating manifestation, dealing his 5 or 6 damage. He's alone. You take him all by himself, but he deals some decent damage. Right? Like, so, I'm not sure if you saw the video or whatever, but like, you know, he against here, like, enemies, he'll deal like 5 to 7-ish damage. And then against manifestations, he does even more. He gets more rend, right? But anyway, but the manifestations here that are marked in green are ones that he one-shots. So Burning Head, Life Swarm, Sword, Cogs, Pendulum, Maelstrom, Shackles, he just like eats them no problem. And then the ones in yellow, he'll probably kill. Gravetide, Spell Portal, lots of things, right? Spell Portal, Jaws, so he like eats Jaws, and then Bridge and himself, he has a harder time killing. Bridge has a lot of wounds on a 4-up save, right? So like that's where I'm at in this list. I'm like, I'm gonna take Krondspine, and so only thing I'm really deciding is how many wizards I want to take. It does, but like, I don't know. This is sort of what I'm thinking of starting with. Probably, you know what? Probably only... See, the problem is 4 spells is too many spells. It's just too many spells. Which means I'm not taking the staff, which means I'm taking Mork's Eye Pebble. And I think I put it on the Vulture. I think that's what you do. And then the Vulture like swoops in and pops an Aura Ward. And then I take 3 wizards. No, I don't. Yeah, because now it's just 3 casts. The only problem with 2 wizards is that if you roll unlucky and you get rid of the Pockrots, now suddenly you're only 2 casts with no +1, and that feels bad. But 4 wizards, 4 casts feels too many. So 3 casts is like Krondspine, Mystic Shield, Choking Mist every turn. And if there's no Krondspine, you cast a Black Pit. Right? And it's like, okay, that's fine. But you can't do 4 casts. So I think you just do this, and this guy swoops in, and then... neither of these guys probably unlock shamans, and we're 5 drops. Now we have to start all over again. Like, subscribe. Wow.